Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's holiday episode of Whether or Not and the final episode of the fall semester. We are your co hosts for the show. I'm Ryan DePhillips.
And I'm Salix Iverson. This week's episode will be a little bit different as we will feature our current members' favorite holiday movies, a farewell to some current members not returning next semester, and a feature from our very own Allison Gutleber on whether or not alumni. Now, Ryan, this is a time of year where we're usually getting ready for winter, right?
Yes, Alex, we should start seeing more of that cold air and snowfall as the first day of winter is coming upon us on December 21st. Also, I know many of you have mixed opinions on snowfall and cold air, but after State College had the second lowest snowfall on record this past cold season, I'm hoping we can do better this time around.
Yeah, so we'll see what Dan has for us in his forecast to see if some of us may be seeing that cold air and snowfall anytime soon. But before that, we have nature in the news. Today, I'll be talking about climate change impacts on affordable housing and another set of wildfires in California.
For my stories, I'll be talking about some very cool ice caves, no pun intended, in Alaska's Matanuska Glacier, and the Paris Climate Agreement's initiative on what is called net zero.
Now, here is nature in the news. There has been new research from scientists at Climate Central that show another unfortunate consequence of a changing climate. Their research has shown that the implications of sea level rise may harm the United States affordable housing. Affordable housing is an important resource for millions who live in the United States that lack stable and secure housing. Sea level rise is expected to triple the number of affordable housing units at risk of coastal flooding over the next 3 decades. Coastal flooding has risen dramatically over the last few decades due to a warming planet. The goal of the scientists at Climate Central was to quantify the current and future coastal flood risk to the nation's affordable housing. This is important to local, state, and federal stakeholders who need to understand how climate change may impact this important resource. Their study found that over 7,000 affordable housing units were recently exposed to an annual flood risk, with the highest number of units exposed in New Jersey. Other states in the Northeast were also highly exposed, like New York and Massachusetts. The researchers then ranked their top 20 cities of annual numbers of units exposed by the year 2050, and found that cities in the Northeast and California are the most vulnerable.
Alaska's glacier in Disney's Frozen may be put to shame by the biggest Alaskan glacier via the car, called the Matanuska Glacier. At only around a 2-hour drive from Alaska's largest city, Anchorage, and surrounded by the Chugach Mountains that reach up to over 13,000 feet high, this valley glacier is a whopping 27 miles long and 4 miles wide. What makes this place unique is that the glacier itself constantly advances and retreats daily, making the landscape change routinely. Not only that, Matanuska's glacier's iconic caves, cracks, and crevices make it a hotspot for tourists and locals alike. Experienced and non-experienced hikers can venture on trails that generally range from 1.5 to 3.5 hours. Whether it be a guided tour or venturing out with a pair of crampons, this glacier could be the first thing on your bucket list if you head to Alaska.
The typical fire season in California peaks from May through October, but this year fires have been seen as late as December. As of December 8th, there were fires burning southeast of Los Angeles. One of these fires was coined the airport fire and was ignited on December 1st near an airport in Corona, California. By December 8th, the airport fire burned 1,087 acres and is 50% contained. A larger fire ignited on December 2nd in Silverado Canyon. Officials in Orange County stated that this fire, called the Bonfire, has burned 6,686 acres and is 75% contained. Despite an already active fire season in California this year, enough brush and vegetation has remained to fuel new fires. Additionally, strong Santa Ana winds with gusts between 70 and 95 miles per hour helped fuel the flame. Santa Ana winds are strong and extremely dry, downsloping winds that impact Southern California. Santa Ana winds have led to other December wildfires in California, such as the Thomas wildfire in 2017. CAL FIRE reported that fires this year have burned over 1.4 million acres of land since the beginning of this year.
The 2015 Paris Climate Agreement planted plans of actions in an effort to reduce global carbon emissions. In large part due to an increase in carbon dioxide, more catastrophic weather events have coincided with rising sea levels and a pre-industrial temperature increase by 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So, this global agreement's ultimate goal is to reach net zero by 2050. The term net zero means that greenhouse gas emissions released in the atmosphere must equal emissions taken out of the atmosphere. In order to reach net zero and to curb the pre-industrial temperature increase to 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit, global carbon emissions need to be cut in half by 2030. Also, transportation, electricity, agriculture, and infrastructure industries will have to undergo major renovations. Ultimately, climate change is something we cannot ignore, especially as we soon start off the new year.
I'm student meteorologist Dan Guzman here with your Central PA forecast. Over the past few days, we've had some clear weather and even a few flurries with temperatures right around average, but we do expect some wet weather to make an appearance over the next few days. The current setup for today, we have a high pressure system off the coast bringing us clear weather. Clouds are going to be building throughout the night into Saturday as the large low pressure system does move its way into the area. That is going to be bringing rain throughout the Northeast from West Virginia, Kentucky, all the way to upstate New York and the New England area. That rain is going to continue throughout the day Sunday as the low pressure system intensifies and will taper off in the afternoon and evening hours. Friday's forecast includes a high of 53 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Those clouds will be building throughout the night into Saturday with a low of 36, Saturday, the rain is going to begin with a high of 47 degrees, and it will continue throughout the day into Sunday. Sunday, we will have a high of 48 degrees, and that rain will be finishing off by the afternoon and evening hours.
As we come to the end of 2020 and our fall semester of Whether or Not, some members, including myself, will be leaving the show and going on to new possibilities. I reached out to two alumni, Hannah Evans and Jordan Jenna, to hear about what they've been doing since their time on the show has ended. The two were on the show together last year in 2019. Although that was Hannah's first semester on the show, Jordan had been on Whether or Not starting the semester prior in her junior year. Jordan is a recent graduate of Penn State, where she graduated in May 2020. Before graduation, Jordan used her classes, her free time, and her internships to grow as a broadcaster in order to land a job right after graduation.
March of my senior year, I got reached out to by the station I'm at now. So my job hunting experience was a little bit different. Obviously, it was for almost everyone that was graduating that year because of coronavirus.
Jordan landed a job as the weekend evening meteorologist at WNCT 9 in Greenville, North Carolina. Along with broadcasting on air in the studio, Jordan worked as a digital meteorologist on the weekdays, creating a franchise piece known as What's Up Weather with Jordan.
What's Up Weather with Jordan is just kind of like a Whether or Not segment. It is only 1:30, so it's significantly shorter, and it's an educational piece, and I try to make it so everyone can understand what's going on in the weather, and it's just like interesting fun facts about the weather.
Jordan is excited about her future as a broadcast meteorologist, and our other alumni, Hannah Evans, is already preparing to follow in Jordan's footsteps.
I'm a senior here at Penn State. I did Whether or Not the past 2 semesters. of my time at Penn State. So I'm an alumni yet now. So since I'm not involved in Weather or Not right now, I've been involved in campus weather service, and I've been doing some practicing of broadcasting on my own.
Unfortunately, just like the differences in Jordan's job hunt, Hannah's time on Whether or Not was a little different as it was cut a few months short for her last semester.
What I miss most about Whether or Not is being with the group of people that I was on it with. They made it way more enjoyable being there late at night with them, editing the show up until midnight some nights. It was really fun and enjoyable, and I became really close friends with everyone that I was on the show with.
Although Hannah did not record for a full 2 semesters, Whether or Not gave her skills that she will use in her future.
I think Whether or Not has helped me learn the ins and outs of the broadcasting world. So for Whether or Not, we learned how to produce the show. We also learned how to broadcast in front of the green screen and work with others. So I think Whether or Not has really helped me to further my broadcasting skills in front of the green screen, and also work on my graphic skills and my producing skills behind the screen.
I would like to extend a thank you to Hannah Evans and Jordan Jenna for coming on the show and telling us about what they've been doing since Whether or Not ended for them, and maybe inspiring some students or people at home to join this career path or maybe join the show at school.
Thanks, Allison. Now we're going to talk about our favorite holiday movies. Ryan, would you like to start?
Absolutely. So I did mention this movie in a previous episode, as my favorite holiday movie is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, featuring Jim Carrey. I'm sure that many of you would agree that as a 2000 movie, it's an instant classic. I just find it to be so funny and captivating. And whenever I watch it, it just always seems to lift up my spirits. So Salix, what's your favorite holiday movie?
I'm really torn between 2 holiday movies from 2 very different genres. So the first one is a comedy that I enjoy, and it's Elf with Will Ferrell and Zooey Deschanel, and I can almost quote the entire movie on my own. However, I also love the story and message behind It's a Wonderful Life, and it's my mom's favorite holiday movie, so we always watch it together.
Those are both great movies, Salix. I agree. Now let's hear from the other show members from their favorite holiday movies.
I would have to say my favorite Christmas movie is The Santa Claus, the first one, not the second or the third, just because it is such a different storyline and Tim Allen does a great job of becoming Santa throughout the whole entire movie. There's a lot of twists and turns, but in the end, there is always that Christmas spirit that brings everyone together.
I would have to say my favorite holiday movie would be Elf, because it's a comedy, fun to watch, and it's also good for all age groups, so you can really watch it with your whole family and enjoy it during the holiday season.
I would say my favorite Christmas movie of all time is The Polar Express, because one, it makes me always want hot chocolate because of that one scene, but overall, I just love that Christmas movie, the whole storyline that's told throughout it, and it always gets me in the Christmas spirit. And growing up, I was always fascinated by trains, so that definitely played a role in it as well. So overall, I just love watching it whenever it's on, and it's become my favorite Christmas movie over the years.
I would have to say my favorite Christmas movie of all time is Elf, just because of how funny and witty it is. One of my favorite scenes is when he tries going up the escalator in a full split position, and also when he tries a perfume and sprays it in his mouth thinking it's a passion fruit spray, and also when he starts attacking the mall Santa for not being the real Santa. I think it's really a Christmas classic, and I know so many of you love it too. I'm student meteorologist Dan Guzman, back here with your extended forecast. Over the next few days, we could see our next rainmaker, but for the weekend recap, Friday we do have a high of 53 degrees, which is well above average with partly cloudy skies, low of 36 into Saturday when the rain begins, high of 47 and a low of 43. And the rain is going to continue and taper off Sunday afternoon into the evening with a high of 48 degrees and a low of 30. Our extended forecast shows temperatures are going to remain below average for most of the week. Cloudy on Monday as that storm system works its way off the coast. Clouds will clear Tuesday before the next chance for rain on Wednesday and Thursday moves into the area, and Friday is looking a little dry too. Now back to you.
Now to our Weather Whiz Quiz question. How long is Alaska's Matanuska Glacier? Is it A, 4 miles long, B, 11 miles long, C, 17 miles long, or D, 27 miles long?
And the correct answer is D, 27 miles long. Now, Salix, I don't know about you, but if I had to go to Alaska, I would certainly want to visit this glacier.
I agree, Ryan, and I'm already used to walking in cold conditions since my family and I will hike or walk at different state parks near Lake Superior every Christmas. Now, this is all the time that we have for this week's show. Juan wishes the best of luck to Allison Gutleber, Dan Guzman, and Nick Guzzo, who won't be returning to the show next semester.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having them on the show, as I'm sure they'll continue to be successful in the future. To everyone else, have a happy and safe holiday season. We are your co-hosts. I'm Ryan DePhillips.
And I'm Salix Iverson. Have a great weekend.